Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button for me. And for my continued followers, I want to thank you. And here's one where St. Louis, I think, and the young people of today are trying to turn St. Louis into Chicago when it comes to all of this teenage violence. Because on Monday, just like I told you all in one of my previous videos, for those who follow me, there were two kids that got killed in downtown Chicago in the Loop in a deadly shooting in broad daylight on a Friday afternoon while they were going to lunch. That was about almost 2 weeks ago. And now when I'm saying St. Louis is trying to be like Chicago, wait till you hear this story that happened in St. Louis on Monday, February the 5th at 1:30 in the afternoon. 2 people were killed and a third was injured during a shooting involving a drug deal. The shooting happened at 1:30 p.m. on Monday, February the 5th, outside the Black Forest Apartments in St. Louis County, Oakville suburb. Police said the victims met with the 2 suspects, 19-year-old Tyler Coleman and 18-year-old Zachary Huff, regarding the sale, you won't believe this, of marijuana cartridges. That is a thing that these kids are doing in high school today, where they are going and getting an adult to buy them the smoking vapes and cartridges because they're underage, and then they're selling them to each other in high schools. That is an ongoing thing that is definitely taking place. That's why these guys were meeting up illegally. I don't know if parents are aware of that, but they are selling these vapes and these marijuana cartridges to each other. So, one of the victims entered the suspect's vehicle, at which point the 2 victims were shot. Colin Courtright, 15, was identified as one of the shooting victims. 15. He was pronounced dead at the scene. 15. A second teen was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. He was identified as 16-year-old Tyree Williams. Listen to how young these people are. They haven't even started life, let alone puberty. And they're out here killing and getting killed. A third male was shot and was hospitalized. He is expected to survive, and then he's going to be arrested when he is discharged from the hospital. And what this young man does not know is that he has the potential to be charged for the 2 murders of his friends, because they were all in the service of doing something illegal. And whatever takes place as a result of it, all of them can be charged for murder, including the third guy that got shot as a victim. That's correct. It's no different if you have a friend and you drive him to the bank. He robs the bank, gets in your car, and you drive off. All right, and he shoots somebody in the bank and takes the money, and they catch you and him. You're getting charged with that murder and bank robbery. They call it an accessory to a crime. So this young man, even though he was a victim and got shot, it was in the act of a criminal activity. And 2 lives were lost. And he's going to be charged with some heavy crimes too when he gets out of the hospital. Tyler Coleman and Zachary Huff were charged with 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of armed criminal action, and delivery of marijuana. Here we go. Here's another caveat. They were both students at Oakville High School in St. Louis County. They were seniors, and they played on the Oakville football team. They haven't even graduated. These are the guys that did the shooting. They were seniors in high school, and the guys they shot were 15 and 16. and they are being held on a $500,000 cash-only bond. So I gave you the example of the two high school students that got killed, shot multiple times in downtown Chicago 2 weeks ago on their lunch break from school. And then we have it here in St. Louis where two teenagers get shot, 15 and 16-year-old, and get killed. And the third one, that's a teenager, is in the hospital. What are we doing? I thought kids were supposed to compete with academics and athletics and what college you're going to go to. We've gotten to a point in society now where life and death has no dividing line, and especially for these young people. And I tell you another thing, for all the old lifers in prison, the horny guys in prison, they are loving that all of these young people are committing these adult life and death crimes and going to the penitentiary, because these young fellas are going to have a hard time at a level 5 state penitentiary. They are going to have it very, very hard. And I think most of my listeners can figure out what I'm talking about. These old guys that are in prison and doing life and are never getting out, all of these young fellas that are coming in there, going to prison, is like a kid in a candy store. The other caveat to this particular situation is that the two suspects, normally you see with these teenagers, black on black crime, is based on proximity, and 90% of these murders, 95% of them, they are targeted and they know who they are aiming for. But this one is interesting because Zachary is a white kid and Tyler is a black kid. So you got this interracial dynamic with these two kids from different backgrounds and all of that. And then they decided that they are going to rob and murder these teenagers over marijuana cartridges. Life has no value anymore. The demonic forces that are churning in this world and in our country is abominable. There are too many guns on the street. There are way too many young people. I walk into a store in the city, a gas station, and pay for gas, and I see guys with guns all day long that are not looking like they are dressed for work or going to a university, Wash U or St. Louis U, or going to do something constructive. There is a purging and a children of the corn that is taking place in the cities and the counties and suburbs all across America. This is not just an urban problem. This happened in a primarily all-white suburb in St. Louis County. I live here in St. Louis. So this is very disturbing. This just took place on Monday. These kids are killing each other in broad daylight and are getting caught right away. With the surveillance systems now and everything else that's out there, you can't get away with this stuff. The cameras everywhere. And then the second piece to St. Louis that is scary as hell is that a murdered suspect, a juvenile who was in the juvenile jail system in the city of St. Louis, escaped from the juvenile center about 5 days ago and is on the loose. He's 17. He killed another teenager last October. So he's in the juvenile. He escaped, and the news media, our local news, cannot give out his name or picture because he is underage. They have some kind of protection on personal identity for juveniles. So how in the world are the citizens of St. Louis supposed to identify who this murder suspect is that's on the loose that could probably commit some more murders? Because these young teens don't care about anything today. He is out on the loose and nobody knows what he looks like. They've given us the description, which could be any black kid in St. Louis City. He's on the loose. So St. Louis is in a very dangerous and trepidatious point right now, and we need to change the public safety issues that are taking place so people can live safely in St. Louis and America. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.